Hey guys, I'm going to walk you through a really quick tutorial of exactly how I edit my stock footage and then how I set it up so that you can export a number of clips at one time. First thing you're going to do is open up Premiere and open up a new project. And so what I'm going to do is bring in my files here. And I'm going to quickly organize. So the next thing you want to do is just go into your footage, and if you want to see the thumbnails, you'll just hit this little guy down here, that way you can actually see and go through and find. You can kind of scrub through here. That looks like a good one. So what I'm going to do is set an endpoint by hitting I, and then watch through. That looks like a good endpoint. So now I'm going to hit O, that's going to be my out point. And then you're going to drag your media down to a sequence. I haven't made a sequence yet, so that's okay. Just drag this down right here. It's going to create a sequence for you. So now what you're going to do is come back out of this. I'm going to go back to my list so I can see what I'm doing. Come back up to your other folders here. See how it made a sequence for us, and the name of it is my footage there. I actually want to change that. I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to put Picking Okra HD. These are my HD files. I'm going to come back into my files here and click a couple more. Let's see. There was one in here that was decent. All right, so I'm going to scrub through again, find another endpoint. If I don't like that, I can redo it. Hitting I, that's my endpoint. Okay, hit I again, that looks good. And O for out. All right, so I'm gonna drag my footage back down again. And then let's go through and see if we can find one more. And drag that in there. So you can see I have 3 clips here, 3 separate clips. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and color correct these. So we'll click on that one. Let's open up Window, Lumetri Scopes. And if it ends up down here, that's okay. I'm going to pull it right up here. Basically, this is just showing you the spread of where your whites are and where your blacks are. So as a rule of thumb, you want your whites to be under 90 and your blacks to be somewhere around 10. And the way you can change that is go right on over here. This is the Lumetri Color window. You can go up to Window, Lumetri Color if you don't see it on your browser. I'm going to bring those whites down. And then over here, these are your blacks. So you want to go over here to blacks, pull those up to about this, right around this 10 line right there. You can see how this gave it a little bit more of a flat look to it. That's exactly what you want for stock footage. You want to give whoever's buying your footage more freedom to edit it as they want to. So then we're going to go back to Effect Controls. Click on that Lumetri Color and hit Command C. That's going to copy, and we're just going to paste that onto our other clips. You can also select them all at one time and paste them on there. I just did it one by one so I can kind of see each one. And then you can kind of go through and tweak. Like this one looks a little bit too flat, so I'm going to bring my whites and my blacks back in a little bit. And then same here. That looks a little bit better. And then also play around with your white balance here. I feel like these look a little cool, so I'm going to warm them up just a little bit. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is apply a warp stabilizer. This is just going to help stabilize our footage a little bit, make it look a little more smooth. So the way to do that is go ahead and click on one of your clips here. First one's fine. Go up to Effects, Video Effects, Distort, and then double click on this warp stabilizer. And then instead of smoothness of 50, that's a lot, we're gonna go more like 4. We'll start with 4% and see how that looks. It depends on the clip, depending on how much motion there is and exactly what the clip is. Sometimes I do 2%, sometimes I do 10%. You kind of have to play with this one depending on what it looks like. It also doesn't work for every clip. So you want to make sure you go through one by one and make sure you're not getting any kind of weird movement with this. But it can sometimes be really helpful for taking out a little bit of the camera movement that you don't want to be there. Okay, so that's done. So we're just going to watch this really quick and see how that looks. Okay, that looks all right. So I'm going to, if you like it like that, you can go ahead and copy that, paste it on the rest of your clips. You can see they're going to take a minute to work. Go in here and click Analyze, Analyze. Once you see those frames going, you know it's actually working. All right. I have gone back through all 3 of the clips and watched them. I'm happy with the way they look, and now I'm ready to export them. In this case, I'm only showing you 3 just to give you a quick demo, but in some cases you might have 50 clips, and so that is why it's so important to know how to export these clips all at one time, so you're not doing them one by one, you're not sitting at your computer all day long. You can go ahead and rename them, get them all set up, and then hit go and go get something else done while your computer does the exporting work for you. So let's jump into exactly how to do that. First thing you want to do is we're going to nest these clips so that they become individual sequences, and then from there we'll be able to export those individual sequences into files that you can then export to your stock footage sites. So the way that you do that is go to your first clip. You're going to right click, go up here to where it says nest. This is going to give you a chance to rename this file. So if you name it very specifically what it is, you'll remember, and that's going to help you in the next step when you get ready to put in your keywords into that stock footage site. Hit OK. That's going to make another sequence up here for you that's just going to contain exactly what we made, that little clip. Okay, let's go back to our master sequence here. We're going to go on over to the next one. I'm going to do the same thing. So I've got all of my HD clips that I've already edited. I've put them into my sequences bin for HD files here. They're ready to go. So what I'm going to do is select all of them. I'm going to go up here to File, Export, Export Media. And it's going to pull up our export settings. Now here's what I do for stock footage. Your format is going to be QuickTime. I like to use Apple ProRes HQ. That's going to be the highest quality. Don't need audio here, so you don't have to check that. This is all going to be based on your camera, so that's exactly how you want it. Just keep that like that. Render at maximum depth. And you want to use maximum render quality. And then you're going to hit Q. Okay, give it just a second. It's all going to pull in those files into Media Encoder, and I'm going to show you the last few steps here. You can see it's pulling up those 3 files right here for you. It's going to show you where those are going to be exported in the output file here. If you're okay with that, you just leave it there. If you want to change it, click on it and you can tell it. You can rename it there, you can change the location. I'm happy with where these are. So now all you have to do is hit this little green play button, and that's going to go ahead and start exporting your videos one by one. So that is the beauty of batch exports here. If you have 50 clips, they're all going to populate right here in this window, and you can go off and have dinner or go to bed or whatever it is, and the next morning you're going to wake up and they're all going to be where you want them to be, named individually and ready to go with all of your settings intact. Hope that helps, guys. Leave comments in the sections below if you have any more questions or want to know anything else about my settings. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks.